Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all-new segment here on the channel called Crossin Streams. I am your host, the real Geno Reynolds. What this segment is going to be is, instead of having a talking Netflix and talking Prime and so on and so forth, if a streaming service has a TV show, this is where I'm going to put my reviews. I just wanted to put them all under one banner, and that banner is Crossin Streams. Where we're going to be starting today is a streaming service called Rivet TV, which honestly, before this program that we're going to be talking about today, I had never even heard of Rivet TV. But anyway, they're starting off with a bang. They've been around a few years, but they're really coming out with a bang here. And the show we're going to be talking about today is Hollyweed, which is the pilot episode for a TV show from and starring Kevin Smith. This is the story of two pot dispensary owners trying to make it in Hollywood. They catch a break, or at least they think they have, when Pete, played by Kevin Smith, grows a quote-unquote life-changing strand of marijuana. Many of you know, if you followed me for a while on this channel, that I am a fan of Kevin Smith. At least his earlier works anyway, so I was hoping that this series would help him get back on track. Smith has teamed up with Rivet TV to release the pilot episode of his show Hollyweed with the hopes that people will crowdfund the rest of the season. Rivet TV is a site much like Indiegogo, and where people can pledge money towards the show to help, or towards a show to help them get made. I'd explain how it all works, but I'd probably just confuse everybody. So, and that's not on you, that's on me, because when I was trying to write out how this all worked, I was getting lost in my own thoughts. So if you want to check out how it all works, I'll put a link to the Rivet TV site and the pilot of this show in the description below. Now, on to the show itself. When the show begins, you can tell right away that it is a Kevin Smith show. Many quote-unquote Smith staples appear in quick fashion. Pot smoking, I mean, obviously the show is called Hollyweed after all. Pop culture references, porn, a loud Jason Mewes, etc. Like much of Smith's other projects, a lot of the humor is based on things like this. And while not all of it lands, I was still having a good time with it, being a Kevin Smith fan. There's really not much I can say about the performances in the show. The actors, the ones that I'm familiar with anyway, all seem to be playing to their strengths in this pilot episode. It's a case of what you see is what you get. You know Jason Mewes is going to be loud, things like that. I mean, it's, you just know how these characters are going to act because you've seen them in other things before. Now, I'm going to be talking about the plot of the show, and being that it's just a half-hour episode, I'm just going to be kind of talking spoilers here. So if you really want to see it before you know what I thought of it, I don't listen to the rest of this review. Know that I would recommend checking it out because it's free. So again, we're going to be talking spoilers here, so here we go. The plot is kind of simple, but fun so far. Nips, played by Donnell Rawlings, and Pete are trying to make their shop, LA Confidential, which, there you go, movie reference, successful with their new strain of pot called Hollyweed. When a douchey movie director, played by Adam Brody, comes to their shop looking for pot for his movie's star, they are happy to help, for a huge markup price, of course. Pete ends up having to deliver the pot, much to his annoyance, to the movie set, which ends up being a porn shoot. Pete ends up meeting and, of course, getting high with the movie star Brookline Mass, played by Frankie Shaw. Fun fact, Shaw's character is named Brookline Mass because she is from Brookline, Massachusetts. Shaw herself is really from there as well, so I thought that was kind of a fun little connection. Pete ends up, of course, falling for the porn star and convinces her to leave with him. She finds his action sweet and ends up working for him at the dispensary. For a night. No, not in that way, sickos. At the pot store. She ends up robbing them blind of all of their money and processed pot. She does leave the plants and a note for Pete because she really did appreciate what he did for her. one can only assume that this will be a plot thread that the show will run with if it gets future episodes. Well, it's going to be hard to really judge how a series is going to be with only having seen this one episode. I will say that if you are a fan of Kevin Smith, you should at least check it out. I mean, come on, it's free. While I would probably watch this show, I don't think I'd want to pay for it by the episode, not knowing where it's going. In this day and age of streaming service shows, I just don't think I'd want to take the chance on it. Also, I always find it hard to want to contribute to things like this, where I'm surprised that they couldn't find funding for it from the Hollywood side of things. That being said, I really don't know the history behind Smith's attempts to get this funded. So who knows? He may have exhausted all the other options already. If I were going to pay for it by the episode, I'd probably go for the lowest tier, which is $1.99 per episode. I believe it goes up to as high as $5.99. Again, I would like to see this because, again, I want to see Kevin Smith do good things. And I'd like to at least see a season of it just to see where it'd go. But as far as paying for it, I don't know if I want to see it that bad. That's going to be all for this new segment called Crossin Streams. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Geno YouTube channel, like or dislike this video, and if you have a comment, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below. As always, I am your host, the Real Geno, Geno Reynolds, Schnoogans.